Good day. Welcome to Dirt Plus. This is just a short little PSA, little story time. If you've been on this channel for more than 5 minutes, you understand that I'm a car person. I love vehicles. Cars are my thing. It's my bread and butter. It's what I wake up and get this old ticker pumping for every single day. And whether or not you have a diesel truck, lowrider, tuner, whatever, I'm here for it. I love cars. Hell, I've even sold a few in my day. I did new car sales back in the day. I sold and flipped a couple cars here and there. But something that I've always done my very best at doing is being honest with folks. And that's cost me many sales. They don't necessarily want to hear the bad, but I'm going to tell you the bad, because I don't want you to call me 20 minutes down the road and say, oh, this thing broke. All right. If I didn't know about it, that's one thing. But if I know about it, I'm going to divulge it to you. Take, for example, something that got brought to my attention literally today. If you've been on this channel for any stretch of time, I had a Dodge Dakota, pop it up right here. 1992 Dakota Dr. Thunder is what we lovingly called it. And that was my dream truck. Like, not, my holy grail, I'm going to hold on to it forever. But something that I've always wanted to do was, just throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks. And see if I can't design, create something cool. About a month ago, we went ahead and let it go down the road and let somebody else enjoy the truck. And it had its litany of problems after that. Mainly a wheel bearing, and killed the spindle, little nitty-pitty stuff, something a 250,000-mile truck, 30 years old, is going to do. But whenever I was selling the truck, it had bad gas gauge. You can either fix it or learn to live with it, keep it topped off. They'll call me, they'll call me. The bigger problem was that it is an older truck, 250,000 miles. It chewed up oil. It ate it. So something you just got to keep your eye on. Depending on how much you drive it, pull the dipstick, throw a little in there. Everything's going to be lubed up. Easy peasy. I got shared today. It got reposted or relisted. And it wasn't the guy I sold it to. Apparently the guy that I sold it to traded to this guy for God knows what. I have no clue. I'm damn curious enough to almost holler at him and say, what'd you get out of it? What'd you punt the truck for? Or so on and so forth. But none of my business. Whatever. But I looked at the guy's posting on this truck. And I know this truck front, backwards, side to side, and all that stuff. Newsflash, the spoiler, gone. Somebody didn't like it and took it off. The problem with that, not for nothing, is that big, gigantic donkey dinger spoiler took your eyes away from the rest of the truck. It was pretty beat anyway. Everybody's got their own flavor. If you like it, great. If not, whatever. I read the guy's posting on this, and it's about as brief as it comes. Runs, drives, 318 automatic, took on trade, clean title. He's posting it for 40% more than what I posted it / sold it for. Do I think he's going to get that out of it? No. You're going to have to weed through a lot of bullshit to just get basically what I got out of it, because I had to weed through a boatload of bullshit just to get, kind of break even on it. Nothing in that post stated any of the bad. Any of the, negative stuff about it. That leads to what I'm kind of talking about. Honesty. I don't know the guy. I couldn't say yes, no, maybe so about some stuff. Will he divulge these things to the next person that's coming to buy it? Yay or nay? I don't know. But would you want to go? Let's just pretend you're sitting where I am. It's 4 hours east. You're going to drive 4 hours, and you're going to get there and find out it burns oil, gas gauge doesn't work, and whatever else is going on with it nowadays. But would you want to carry cash and take an entire day, drive there, and then probably drive back home without it because somebody didn't tell you about it. It's a very niche truck. Like, you're going to have to be a little tweaked in the head to want it. I know I was tweaked when I freaking built it. I'm still freaking goofy. But I know that if I was to go somewhere and buy something, I'd like to know the great things and the bad things. I need to know what works, what doesn't. And he'd probably tell you through a text, and then you'd probably ghost him. And you just wasted a bunch of time when you could just make it a post, and you get those dingleberries. They're like, "Where's the bottom dollar? Here's a case of beer." Those people ain't buying it anyway. They ain't got $20 of their freaking name, let alone a case of beer. That's probably their whole fridge. But it's why I don't do new car sales anymore. It's why I don't really sit in a parking lot and wait for people to come up and get some ups and go talk to people and try to weasel them into a finance car. Because I don't know these vehicles. And my face is the one that they saw scribble on the Foursquare, "Here's your payment." Be honest about what you're doing. Otherwise, it's one of those deals where sleeping good at night is worth its weight in gold. If you just don't have a soul or a conscience, more power to you. Must be nice. I don't know how that is, but whenever the guy bought the truck and he drove it home, when he lost his wheel bearing, I said, "Send me the bill. I will pay you back for a wheel bearing." And he didn't ask for any money, which, hey, I respect that. He took it like a man. It's used car stuff. It is what it is. But it made me feel better knowing that I offered to at least pay for the parts, because I didn't know that the wheel bearing was going bad. Didn't make a peep of nothing. He even said it himself. It didn't make a sound at all. Just poop. Just broke. That's old parts for you. Just happens sometimes. But honesty is the best policy. Just know that if you don't tell somebody something and they come and see it, and let's just pretend I knew the wheel bearing was shit in the bed, and I was going to cut him loose and go, "Yeah, drive 4.5 hours to back home. Sure. Get a $500 tow bill back to your house because it's just on the side of the road now." I couldn't sleep at night doing that. I don't know if you could. I certainly can't. I have a bit of a conscience. I have a heart. I don't want to just screw people. I want to give somebody something they want. You come all this way, you give me your money that you worked hard for, or hell, you might have flipped something, you might have fell ass backwards into it. I don't care, but it's your money. You gave it to me for something that you assumed is good. Don't be a dick. Don't hide things. Don't, because, "Oh, you didn't ask about it. You didn't ask about it. I don't give a damn." Blah, 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 blah. But so not for nothing, you're just gonna let things slide because I didn't ask a very specific question. You take those risks. You can pay accordingly to all that stuff. I don't like doing that. Be nice, be kind, be honest to folks, because that's part of the gig. If you're not honest, integrity is worth everything. If you've got nothing else, your word is worth everything. My signature is worth something, and my word is worth something. My pocketbook is about flat ass empty. It's pretty low, but that's the price you pay. I love these cars. I love tinkering with them. I love making something cool, and I hope that what I said reaches somebody to where maybe you, instead of trying to just weasel somebody out of a couple bucks, maybe be straight with somebody. I'm not saying this guy would lie to your face. I don't know. But having such a brief description is a bad tone setter. I'd rather explain a couple things that they already know is wrong versus, "Hey, a rod's hanging out of this thing 5 miles outside of your house because I blah, 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 blah." People, not everybody's a car person. Not everybody knows what lifter tick, rod knock, bad wheel bearings, all that stuff sounds like. You might, but just because somebody's ignorant you could argue it's their fault, but then again, how you sleeping? That's all I gotta say. Love, peace, and chicken grease. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye.